Yes. Hi everyone, welcome into this live update with our weather impact alert here for this Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. I'm CBS 19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony, tracking some severe thunderstorm warnings across East Texas on our Facebook page and also on CBS 19 Plus and on our YouTube channel. If you like this weather update, please like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube so that other folks can also follow along. Otherwise, on the Facebook page, you can comment, ask questions, and also share this out so that everybody can see it. Pretty obvious as to what's going on right now. Heavy, intense thunderstorms moving through parts of East Texas. Right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45. So the next 25 minutes, that's going to be Camp County here just to the north of Smith County. Smith County is included in that, but it's really the northern half of Smith County north of Interstate 20. So Tyler is not included in that severe thunderstorm warning, nor is White House. And also down to the south, you'll notice that Troop is not inside that severe thunderstorm warning. Upshur County, we do have Upshur County included in that severe thunderstorm warning. It does include Gilmer, does include Betty, and it also includes Wood County. So we come back here to the west, that includes Mineola. This does include Lindale, by the way, in Smith County for that severe thunderstorm warning. On top of that, we have a flash flood warning in Gregg, Cherokee, Rusk, and Smith County till 4 o'clock. We had heavy rainfall move through parts of Smith County and through Cherokee County with this heavy cell now that's moving into northern Smith County and up into Upshur, Wood, and eventually into Camp County. There's also a pretty intense thunderstorm over in Henderson, stretching down toward Laneville, currently not warned. And back here into Henderson County, here's an unwarned in terms of severe thunderstorm warning in Henderson County, just to the east of Athens. All of this lightning, though, indicating some very heavy rainfall coming down, and a flash flood warning also in effect in Henderson County until later on this afternoon. So we've got a lot going on here. I'll widen things out just a little bit, but first we'll take a more detailed look inside the storm here at White House, where there's the thunderstorm from Brownsboro to Moore Station over toward Bradford. Very heavy, intense rain coming down, and intense rainfall also just to the west of Henderson, over toward Overton, up toward Browning, and back toward Winona, also seeing some very heavy rainfall at this time. So those flash flood warnings in Henderson, they go until 4:15. That's for Henderson County, including the cities of Brownsboro, Moore Station. Frankston is also included in that, and Bradford is also included in that flash flood warning. A couple of concerns here this afternoon. Some gusty winds, though we're not hearing reports of any kind of wind damage, but the flooding rainfall potential that we talked about yesterday is really one of your bigger concerns. Another concern here could be a tornado that could spin up over parts of deep East Texas. You'll notice as we head south here into Leon County, there is a tornado warning for a cell that is just west of Houston County. There is another tornado warned cell here in Freestone County, just west of Anderson County. So we may be breaking into CBS 19 programming within the next few minutes to bring folks up to date on a couple of tornado warnings that will work their way into parts of East Texas and into deep East Texas here. Tornado warning number 1 in Freestone County goes until 1:45, so about the next 22 minutes. That could be extended again over into Anderson County. And then you have the tornado warning for Leon County, which includes the cities of Buffalo and Centerville. That's until 2:15, and that could be extended over toward Grapeland and Crockett. So a couple tornado warnings just outside of the viewing area right now, but the flooding rain's a big concern here as I zoom in back to the Smith County severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Camp Smith, Upshur, and Wood County. I'm going to zoom all the way in. The lightning here, again, tells us that we have intense heavy rainfall right now at Big Sandy and at Gilmer over toward Quitman and Mineola. So very heavy rainfall coming down. I do want to take a look outside. This is Tyler, a live picture, and you'll notice we have plenty of cloud cover. The temperature's at 68 degrees, but the dew points have surged now from the 50s to the mid-60s. So we have ample enough moisture. Okay, so we just got the tornado warning for Anderson and Henderson County. So let's go ahead and join CBS 19, and we will go live on our over-the-air along with CBS 19 Plus, and we'll also stay live, of course, on Facebook. But let's switch modes here and take a look at our velocity product. We're going to take a look inside the storm. Well, let's go back to a radar. We're taking a look inside the storm here. Right in here, I'm going to zoom in, and you'll be able to see another severe thunderstorm warning just issued. But this tornado warning just got issued for Henderson County on this cell here northwest of Frankston, south and east of Athens. And then we have that secondary, and also here just to the southwest of, that's going to be Anderson County and Henderson County. So I'm just kind of getting my bearings straight here on where that tornado warning is. You can see that cell currently northwest of Frankston. Here's White House, Mount Selman. This cell itself is likely moving. Okay, we're going to pause the stream and then break in on air. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching CBS 19, CBS 19 Plus, of course, our Facebook channel and our YouTube channel where we've been streaming this information so far. Just got a tornado warning issued until 2 o'clock for Anderson and Henderson County. Does not include the city of Athens, but just to your southeast over toward Brownsboro, that area of Henderson County would be considered in that tornado warning. Let me zoom in on this area here so we can see the circulation, and it's pretty evident here between Moore Station and Frankston, a broad area of rotation that could tighten up at any moment and bring us a chance for a tornado warning. There is some green here butted up against a stronger signal that is moving away from the radar that is in Fort Worth. There's also another area of rotation down here toward Frankston and Moore Station. Again, strong winds flowing away from the radar and some weaker winds coming back in toward the radar. So that tornado warning until 2 o'clock. So let's track this as I slide this back to the northwest a little bit. The storm motion has been pretty fast at this time, roughly at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So as we put this cone on here, and we'll pick this area right in here toward Coffee City and track that out to the north and northeast, 40 miles an hour. So that's going to bring it up into places such as Coffee City by 1:30, Bullard, if it continues on that track, by about 1:45. So that means that we would have tornado warnings then moving into parts of Smith County before 2 o'clock. White House at 1:56, ARP around 2:10, Overton right around 2:15 this afternoon. So again, that tornado warning ongoing. All right, let me take a look at the severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. And this severe thunderstorm warning also is in effect. We have that tornado warning. Come on over to our next product here. And what we're looking at is that tornado watch that is still in effect down at Crockett. And we also have the tornado warning that is in place. Let me go to a different product here. We want to switch over and take a look just at straight velocities. And what we're seeing on straight velocity here is going to be, I am curious as what we are currently, pardon me while I try to figure out I think I lost connection with my hand tracker at the wall, so we're going to do a lot of it here from the Weather Center. Again, we've got the tornado warning, now for Cherokee and Smith County till 2:15. So we were just talking about how that cell was moving into places such as ARP. Moving into ARP and Smith County. Let me zoom right in here. Closer in we go. White House would be Berryville also included in that. And I'll zoom over to our wind tracker here. Okay, so the reason that this is going to be issued is going to be this cell right here. That strong circulation northwest of Berryville, tracking toward White House, toward Bullard. They are all in line of that tornado warning right now. By the way, we're going to be okay. Again, this is radar indicated. There's nothing confirmed on the ground at this time. So radar indicated is a good way of getting everybody ready and perhaps prepped in case we do have something that were to make it to the ground. But at this time, it is currently a radar indicated tornado warning currently. So looking at the Weather Service, they are giving us an update as the storms start to move into eastern parts of Texas. The The wind speeds in here, you know, we could have a wind speed here of a wind gust that would be exceeding severe thunderstorm limits of 58 miles an hour. But we also could have some circulation within that cell that would bring us to the point where we would have something that has potential to touch down. Again, radar indicated at this time. Let me put a track on that for us because we need to figure out where that's headed. And I'll just come off of that circulation and our Titan indicator. First, let's take a look at the Titan indicator, see what we're seeing inside that storm. Our tornado threat is low, but the wind impacts. There's a lot of gusty winds within that storm. Could be causing some wind damage. Let us know if you see any wind damage, experience any wind damage. If you can do it safely, we'd love to see a picture of that. But let's take this track and put it to the east. Again, these storms today are going to start to move pretty quickly in this environment. It's very fast winds aloft, and they're just increasing right now. In fact, their speed is roughly 37 to about roughly 37 miles an hour on average. So I'm just going to take the whole track from the top to bottom here and spread this out at 37 miles an hour so we can give you a broad base of where this is headed. All right, so you're looking at Coffee City, which is pretty close to being right there on top of Coffee City. Noonday at 144, Bullard 158, White House at 207, ARP at 231, and Overton at 240. So severe thunderstorm warning, possibly creating a tornado. So a tornado warning has been issued until 2:15, Cherokee and Smith counties. Coffee City would be the next closest city to that. Noonday would be a few minutes away, about 1:44, so you have about 12 minutes to go to your safe place. Remember, heading to your safe place is what we want you to do at this time. Head to that safe place and stay there until the all clear is given. And also, we just want to update our radio partners. We've got, of course, 106.5 Jack FM, Kicks 105.7, 103.7 The Ranch, and La Invasora 96.7 with coverage. As we do our coverage here, you can take your CBS 19 app or your radio, and you can head to your safe place and stay there until the threat has passed. So we have many ways to get these warnings, and that's what we encourage you. Having either weather radio, radio for warnings, TV for warnings, perhaps friends or neighbors who are calling you and telling you that there is a threat of a tornado. So tornado warned storm right now, but again, that tornado warned storm at this time is radar indicated. I'm going to try to get a little better indication here, maybe seeing if the Weather Service is seeing anything that can give us sort of an update on what they are tracking or picking up. And right now, not seeing anything that would tell us that we have anything confirmed by any spotters out there in the Coffee City area. All right, I'm going to flip it back over to reflectivity real fast for us. As we go back over to reflectivity, just keep in mind we do have that tornado warning. That again is for that small sliver. There's a lot going on. It's tough to pick up here. It's going to be north of Jacksonville. So Jacksonville, you are not in the tornado warning. However, White House and Bullard, you are in that tornado warning right now. Let me go over to just straight wind. So what we're going to do is look at the storm motion and the wind itself, and it doesn't look all that impressive. It looks more impressive when we take out the motion of the storm and we are able to really kind of drill down onto the storm. But that circulation at this point looks very, very broad at this time. So again, I would go to my safe place, but the imminent danger does not appear to be with us. All right, let's go to our outside camera. We're looking to the south. This is from the Broadway camera. And we can see a lot of low clouds here down to the south. If you see them right above the horizon. So yeah, the clouds are close to the ground. There's a low level where we might be able to see something spinning up, but currently some lightning in there. You might be able to notice a couple of clouds in that picture before we're moving from left to right on the screen. And then the other cloud, so there's a really big, broad rotation over top of Smith County and Cherokee counties currently. So I don't know if you can see at the top of the screen, you see how the clouds are moving left to right from Tyler back to the right side of the screen, closer to the surface. If you watch carefully, they are likely going to be moving from the right side of the screen back toward the left. There is a descending. I don't know if you can put me in front of that so I can kind of point out what's going on here. So it looks like we may have a bit of a shelf cloud here. I'm going to watch back in this area to see on behind. So what's happening is there's thunderstorm winds, of course, or thunderstorms are bringing the colder air down and meeting this very humid air at the surface. And so we're getting condensation and these clouds are forming right there on the base, okay? And then we're going back up the thunderstorm, and we would be watching the right side of the screen for anything possibly that might be coming in that's a little bit lower. Dark clouds out here to the east, probably just rain at this time. All right, so we'll keep that shot up for just a second as I analyze the radar here. Again, National Weather Service not confirming anything on the ground, just radar indicated at this time. We say that a lot, but we also tell you to go to your safe place when that happens, and we need you to stay in that safe place just because we don't know at any point if there could be some sort of quick spin up. So the radar, it has radar watcher, or the operators over at the National Weather Service are watching for indications such as strong levels of rotation. Sometimes there are parameters that will kick off, and those parameters will suggest a tornado warning should be issued, and that's the case. Again, we are sort of between radar sites here, between Fort Worth and Shreveport. So Shreveport has the responsibility of warning the Smith County, Northern Cherokee County area. Fort Worth has Henderson and Anderson County still inside the tornado warning, but I would tell you right now, it looks like the threat in Henderson County has about moved out because that circulation looks like it's about ready to move into Smith County. There is another tornado warned storm back here west of Palestine. There's also a tornado warned storm in Houston County. I don't want to leave our friends in Houston County out. We're getting a lot of interference with the radar beam down toward Grapeland, so it's kind of tough to see what's going on. Let me look back at, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that might be giving us just a little indication. This is going to be Harrison and Marion County. That's going to go till 2:15 on that cell there that's tracking northeastward. That storm is going to be moving out of our area more closer to the Arklatex and up into northwestern Louisiana soon. It does not include the city of Marshall and does not include the city of Carthage, nor Longview or Jefferson included in that severe thunderstorm warning. Another tornado warning just popped up here. That again is the Houston County storm till 2 p.m. Looks like there might have been an extension of a severe thunderstorm warning also along that line. So I'm going to throw this quickly into motion, and you'll be able to see how rapidly this is all kind of developing here with these warnings also popping up. This cell here, obvious rotation coming in. Look how much that's spinning. Obvious rotation coming into southern Smith County and northern parts of Cherokee County. So when you see strong rotation like that, that has the potential to create some enough spin in the atmosphere to produce a tornado. So then we have a tornado warning issued. That green area behind it, that's a flood watch. We also have a flood watch ongoing at this time. So we've got flood watches in effect, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and now we have a tornado warning in effect in Smith County and northern parts of Cherokee County. So let me go back. I'm going to go back to my original radar screen here and take out the radar. Okay. You might be able to be hearing lots of thunder on our live programming here. That's outside the CBS 19 studio. I'm going to zoom down very close into Tyler. You can see lots of lightning and heavy rainfall out at Tyler Pounds. We'll come back over here toward Chandler and Noonday, over toward Flint. Then we get into that circulation. That circulation right now is near Coffee City and Moore Station. That's where our Titan indicator would suggest that the strongest rotation is at this time. So let me zoom in there. There it is. Okay, so our Titan indicator telling us right around Moore Station is where we're seeing this strongest rotation. But again, it looks rather broad. I mean, you're talking about probably 4 or 5 miles wide. And when you looked at that whole thunderstorm as it was moving, it looked like a really large mesocyclone or rotating thunderstorm. Coffee City, while in the tornado warning, appears to be staying just outside of that. A couple of new tornado watches are likely to get issued. In fact, we may see a tornado watch extended up into parts of northeast and eastern Texas here. So let's go back. Tornado watch, yes, so all of East Texas, I need to turn this off for a second, and all of these other watch and warnings are coming off at this time so we can get down to that watch. So it looks like we have a new tornado watch that's going to go include Smith County. It's also going to include Rusk County, Panola County, Shelby County, and that tornado watch itself will be in effect likely until Let me get the data on that for us. Probably going to go into the evening hours. That extends over into western Louisiana. That goes until 9 p.m. tonight. So now we have a tornado watch until 9 p.m. tonight. And that, again, is going to likely include the 9 p.m. extension will go all the way over into Louisiana. East Texas will probably stay in that till about 6 or 7 o'clock this evening. Then we'll start to see counties peeled away from west to east. But currently there is a tornado warning in effect in Smith and Cherokee County. All right, we're going back in to that cell and that rotation, which was currently at its strongest, but still rather weak, right around Moore Station. I am going to turn off the warnings for us just a second so that we can look at some of the data inside that storm. What are we seeing inside that storm in terms of winds going toward and away from the radar? 25 miles an hour, that's not super concerning. We come up here to another part of the storm in southeastern parts of Van Zandt County. It's a little bit stronger. Remember, Van Zandt County is not included in the tornado warning. So interesting, just a little insight into that storm, taking a look at it. What are we looking at? We are looking at this part of the storm that's toward Bullard. Again, we're a little farther away from the radar site, but that rotation looks a little broad. Our Titan indicator says that inside that storm itself, there is that flash flood warning that's also ongoing inside that. We are seeing just a small tornado impact off of that, but a very strong wind impact. So we could be getting a lot of gusty winds being propelled from that thunderstorm as the thunderstorm itself takes on more of a squall line sort of appearance. So as it takes on that squall line sort of appearance, and I'm going to widen this out and turn off the lightning just because there's so much going on in terms of what we're trying to see and what we can show you. Let me also turn off the watch. Remember, there's tornado warnings in Smith County, also parts of Anderson County, and also Houston County. And then I throw this into motion. All right, so there are several areas of rotation that we have and we are concerned with. This one, of course, obviously the most important one. This rotating cell down here toward Palestine and Crockett is another one. There is some cell merger happening, which means we would transition away from tornado threat to straight line wind damage threat. We would be watching these areas out here where we could see these discrete cells moving south to north that could start spinning, so we could get a tornado warning over toward Longview and Henderson within the next half hour or so. So you know the rule here. You need to go to your safe place and you need to stay at your safe place until the warnings have passed, and as long as you stay in those safe places, you should be okay. I'm going to stop this here in just a second. We'll track this storm out to the east from Tyler over toward Longview. It is moving kind of east-northeast, so these are moving along a low pressure area to the west and a boundary that is parked over parts of deep East Texas. So the humidity got up rather high today, so to the point where we had the humidity jump up from dew points this morning in the 50s. Those dew points jumped into the mid and upper 60s, and if you're going to have severe weather, you've got to have dew points over 62, and indeed we have seen that. All right, so these are moving east, northeast. Let's put about 47 miles an hour, I think, is the average speed on these. It's kind of tough to put exact spots, so just bear in mind that these times might be just a little bit off, but if you live in Troop, you need to be in your safe place right now. Crockett also in your safe place till 2:22. There is that tornado warning for a portion of Houston County. Kilgore not in a tornado warning, but that storm will reach you at about 2:34. Alto, again, southern half of Cherokee County not in the tornado warning, but Alto, this line of thunderstorms with these what could be, and this is the part we have to be concerned about now as we head into the afternoon. Even though we get the line of showers and thunderstorms to form, we could have inflow notches and then strong winds from the west that could create areas of rotation along that front and could create some tornado warnings. So best bet here, or best plan, would be to maybe head to the shelter, head to your safe place, and kind of ride out the afternoon watching CBS 19, streaming with us on CBS 19 Plus, following along with one of our radio partners, watching on Facebook, and perhaps even watching on the YouTube channel. So any one of these areas, any one of those ways to track that storm would be the best possible path of solution. All right, let's take a look outside. We've got quite a few clouds out there. It looks like that the lowest clouds have passed off to the east from our viewpoint there. We do have a new severe thunderstorm. Well, it keeps going back down to the tornado warning back in Houston County. There was a new severe thunderstorm warning issued, and it looks like that severe thunderstorm warning has been issued into Anderson County. But the tornado tag is possible on it. You'll notice this, the dashed lines here. So we're getting a tornado tag on that. So severe thunderstorm warning, tornado tag. And this is what I was talking about. These little inflow notches here could cause a quick spin up. But I think what we might end up seeing here, you can see the severe thunderstorm warning was extended into Houston County also. Of course, the tornado warning supersedes that. But what we're going to start looking at now is maybe less of a threat of individual cells like you see out here toward Lufkin, and start looking at little spin-ups embedded within that line. Certainly enough of an environment to support that. So the best thing to do is just to stay sheltered up. We always say get in, get down, and get covered, and stay there. And don't be, I know a lot of people have some storm anxiety, but so far I've not heard of any type of storm damage out of this. These have been radar indicated. But again, I think wind, it looks like we have some straight line winds here at Tyler. Let me look at just velocity. So this is going to be maybe a better feel for this. I have not turned back on the warnings, but remember we still have the tornado warning in parts of southern Smith County and northwestern Cherokee County. Winds are gusting to about 46 miles an hour along that southern flank of that storm. That would be closer to Troop. So Troop expects some 45 to 50 mile an hour winds moving into White House, also Mount Selman, and also into Troop. And it looks like it's moving out of Noonday. Frankston is behind that part of the storm right now. So good news there. We'll go back to our relative, and there we go. So it's a pretty big rotation, wide rotation over Bullard currently. So we'll stay on that part of the tornado warned storm. Wide, broad rotation over Bullard currently. So in Bullard, please head to your safe place and remain there. Let's see. I'm going to get some updates from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning remains in effect for southeastern Smith and north central Cherokee counties. That goes again until 2:15. So we have about a half hour on that tornado warned storm. Let's see. Weather Service saying rotation on the tornado warned storm is focusing near Bullard. As I just pointed out, no debris signature at this time. Warning will likely be trimmed to focus south of Tyler shortly. So we're going to concentrate more on an area south of Tyler as opposed to the area that was down in Cherokee County. So likely we're going to remove the southern part of the storm in Cherokee County and just trim it back here to around Bullard. All right, but still that storm is tracking toward White House, also tracking over toward Troop. So please be in the safe place in those areas. All right, I need to widen it back out here just a little bit. By the way, there is that severe thunderstorm warning till 2:45 surrounding that severe thunderstorm warning. So even if you don't have, or the tornado warning, so even if you aren't in a tornado warning in Smith County, you could still be getting some strong winds at this time. And also you could be seeing some, maybe some small hail with that in addition to that. All right, back to our radar. This is called reflectivity. So this is just shooting the beam out and getting it back, and it's looking at the movement inside of the thunderstorms. And it looks like, I know we've got lots of lightning in there. Let me turn up the lightning so we can see those strikes. In fact, I want to see how many strikes we've had recently. Lightning is a good indicator of the updraft strength. Look at that, 4,000 lightning strikes just within this framed image here in the last 15 minutes, and a lot of strong positive strikes coming out of there. So a lot of powerful lightning that we are picking up. All right, leading edge here, southeast of Tyler toward Bullard, now moving over toward Troop. Strong winds. Again, they're going to trim this other little part of that tornado warning off of northwestern parts of Cherokee County and extend and keep that warning going till 2:15. You've got some pretty strong amperage also inside of these lightning strikes. As it moves east. Let me put another track on this. Tracking is so important in a storm like this. Take a look outside at what we're seeing here while I track this storm for us. Look at the visibility being reduced by the heavy rainfall over Tyler right now. This is going to be South Tyler. That's South Broadway, looking from the Chase Bank building, and that's looking across all the way out toward Grande. And you can see the cars coming north inside that, they're having to battle, of course, through all of that of the visibility being reduced so much at this time. So, all right, I have the new path, the new track up on this storm. And we're looking at areas around Troop, seeing the storm moving in about 155, New Summerfield by about 206, Overton also about 214, and then down toward Henderson and Lakeport and Pine Hill. So I'm tracking the leading edge of the storm now, and it looks like it's kind of jumped over top of us. But I was tracking back here, this stronger line of winds where the embedded circulation near Bullard could be occurring. So if that embedded circulation were to continue, then we'd see that continuation of those strong winds to Troop, to Overton and Kilgore here in about the next half hour. This is an estimation. It could move a little bit faster than what we're showing you. If you're watching it on the stream, it can be, or on a different device, sometimes that delay coming up and down from wherever your server provider comes from can be a little bit behind. So these times are going to be roughly in about that time, but the bottom line is to go to your safe place. And that safe place should be the most interior room in your house. I think you know the drill here, right? Most interior room in your house. It should have as few windows as possible, so less than one if possible. If it does have a window, if it's a bathroom and it's in the interior part of your house and somehow it has just a bathroom that faces out, make sure you take something to cover up, whether it's pillows, blankets, something of that nature when you get into the tornado warned area. But it's also a pretty good indication that when you have a severe thunderstorm warning, sometimes it doesn't always take a tornadic wind, but a severe thunderstorm wind that can also cause some wind damage. So again, the times on this part of the storm that could potentially spin up a tornado: Troop, New Summerfield, Overton, Kilgore, Henderson, Lakeport, and Pine Hill. If I read off your name, please head to your safe place right now. I'm going to widen things back out again. Let's take another look outside as we find another view of this storm, and you'll see here just how hard it is raining. This is why we also have the flash flood warning in effect. This is why we also talked about the flash flood warning potentially being a bigger story in terms of danger to folks. While tornadoes are always a danger, if it's just radar indicated, then we never get anything down to the ground. But the flash flooding is occurring on the ground, and because of that, you've got a real potential there. I think we were looking over at Kilgore where the heaviest rain has not yet to arrive there. But let's take a look back outside from our troop camera, or not our troop camera. This is going to be our Chase Bank building camera in South Tyler. I mean, it is almost coming down like a hurricane outside. So meteorologist Sarah Blue and I were looking at this line earlier, and if it could line out and become more of a squall line, it had potential to start to take on what we call derecho characteristics. It would have to travel more than 200 miles and would have to have winds that would gust at 75 miles an hour along the way, but it was starting to try to take on some of those characteristics, and it would have started here in East Texas. So tornado warning still until 2 o'clock. Houston County, that's in about 7 minutes. My feeling right now on that, as I take a look inside this storm, is that we're likely going to see that tornado warning allowed to expire, but replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible tag. Because you'll see here in Houston County, and again, we don't want to forget the folks down in Houston County, the circulation rather broad, and maybe the best circulation you can see right now is back here outside of the county. So there's just really broad rotation. Again, when you have heavy rain like this, you can also just get downburst winds that can exceed severe thunderstorm warning force. So that's another thing to consider. Anyway, I think here in about 6 minutes, we'll probably see this replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning, what we call tornado tag on it. That's what those dashed lines mean, meaning that this could spin up a tornado. And the reason why is these very strong winds here on the leading edge of the thunderstorm as they come in to Houston County and move closer to Crockett. You can occasionally get a strong enough inflow into the storm, followed by some low-level jet stream winds that will surge down to the surface and cause some spinning. And when that happens, you'll get a quick spin-up tornado. Those can be more dangerous than being able to track one for a long time, just because we can see it on radar with a great rotation. But when they don't have great rotation, they can sneak up on you real quickly and they can spin up. All right, so we're looking here toward White House, and we see that rotation there kind of trying to tighten up just a little bit around White House. Please, if you live in White House, please be in your safe place right now. We're looking from the Shreveport radar, so we have some winds going away, and we have winds coming back in. But right now in there, that would be your circulation area. And even though it's broad and it's crossing Troop Highway in 110, coming out of White House down toward Troop, it's right over White House right now. Now, the same circulation passed near Bullard and also passed out toward Noonday and Moore Station, and that continues to move toward White House. So Weather Service right now, I know they are watching that circulation very carefully. Let me see if they've got any other new information on that for you. But if I were in southern Smith County in the White House area, I would definitely head to my safe place right now and just kind of hang out there until tornado warning now is out all the way out to the eastern part of Smith County. This is going to be 64 going over toward New Chapel Hill. In fact, New Chapel Hill is inside that tornado warned storm. I would tell you to go to your safe place at New Chapel Hill because we don't know if this circulation doesn't sort of spin upward. It could, or if it will continue to hold off to the east. Heavy rain on top of this. The other thing about this storm is that there's potential for it to be what we call rain wrapped, so it would be very difficult to see with heavy rainfall coming down to the point like where you can't get a storm spotter that could confirm what radar is indicating. So if that's the case, then this is going to be really difficult to see. I've been inside rain-wrapped tornadoes that ended up being an EF4, believe it or not, but inside an EF4 wrapped tornado on the outside of that circulation, and you could not get good eyeballs on that storm to know exactly where it was headed and the size and scope of it. So the fact that I see the circulation a little bit broader, and that day the circulation was so tight, you obviously had a tornado. This would not tell me that we have a tornado on the ground. I don't know what's going to happen into the next pass of radar, the update, the next loop, but if we get something here that tightens it up a little bit more, then certainly, at any rate, I want you to be in your safe place at White House. And so you know the rule there for White House and anywhere else that's under the tornado warning. I think noonday, by the way, you are okay. You're probably safe. It's just heavily raining right now. Same holds true at Bullard. We'll see this tornado warning get trimmed here in just a little bit. But as it moves eastward and as it moves over toward 135 and as it moves up toward Chapel Hill, probably split the difference between Troop and Chapel Hill. And if you look down toward Troop here, there's another broad circulation. In fact, it looks like in that latest update here, that circulation, and this is what's so difficult about these storms. Remember, it's moving northeastward, and along the line, the whole circulation is rotating, right? So you can have that spin up or at least a broad rotation close to White House, and on the next scan, you get a broad rotation northwest of Troop. So I've been talking about Troop being in your safe place. Hopefully you're in your safe place right now, and you know that it's going to be your lowest floor. If you're in an apartment, by the way, and you can get down to a second or to a first floor apartment, have a friend who lives down there, go there and hang out and wait till the storm passes. At this point, it's probably going to be about 15 or 20 minutes until it passes by Troop. It did not take very long for the circulation to move past Bullard, and now that circulation is over into Troop. So I'm going to, we'll move back just a little bit farther to the west here. By the way, severe thunderstorm warning continues till 2:45 for Cherokee and Smith based on this same severe thunderstorm warned cell. All right, let me widen things back out. I've not seen any new severe thunderstorm warnings issued. I'll come back down here to the Houston County storm. We'll wait and see if that gets if that gets an extension or if that gets a severe thunderstorm warning on it. And I think it's probably going to get the severe thunderstorm warning on it before it gets anything else. But this is along this whole line. This is just trying to become a big thunderstorm complex. And that's why the flash flood threat is so imminent here with more than 3,000 lightning strikes. So it's heavy rainfall, strong updrafts. I'm surprised we haven't heard more hail reports, except that there's not, this is a high, what we call a high shear, low cape environment. So we don't have a ton of storm energy. Temperatures only in the 60s. But there's a proof that sometimes you get temperatures in the 60s and you can still have a tornado warning. Doesn't mean you have a tornado, but you have a tornado warning. And you can see we've had that tornado warning issued in southern parts of Smith County. Also to Houston County, and it looks like let's see if that expires or they keep that going. I'll probably freeze that in just a second. Let me see what this National Weather Service office out of Houston has to say about that. As far as the current tornado warning for northern Houston County goes, looks like most favorable circulation is skirting along the far northwestern edge of the county. So they're going to likely let that one expire at the top of the hour and keep the severe thunderstorm warning with tornado tag possible going. So that's what I was talking about earlier, and that is what we're seeing. Downstream severe, we'll have a tornado possible tag for Madison, Walker, and Houston County. So in Houston County, while it's tentatively safe to come out of your shelter, it's also and National Weather Service in Shreveport saying we're not planning on issuing another tornado warning downstream of the warning south of Tyler right now. The circulation is likely north of the warm front and away from favorable environment, but they're going to keep a close eye on it. Okay, so we are like, I'm going to freeze this for us and we'll come back and give you all the update. So as we thought, the warm front's pretty far to the south. So it is an environment that would be really hard to get a tornado to spin up, but the whole area has circulation within that storm. So right in here. So as this storm now in about 14 minutes moves into eastern parts of Smith County, this is going to be replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning. It'll likely have a tornado tag on it, but we'll see. The warm front's pretty far to the south. In fact, let me go back over. I'm going to try to locate where this warm front is right now. There's also a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. Okay, for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County. So Alto, City of Alto is included in that. We also have Jacksonville included in that. And you can see the Anderson County severe thunderstorm warning has those dashed lines. So that means tornado possible tag on that. Doesn't mean there is a tornado. All right, let's track the squall line. The developing squall line now moving to the east, probably picking up steam. So I'm going to put about a 45-mile-an-hour movement on it. So Grapeland about 209. We're looking at Rusk at about 224. Lovelady down here at 255. You also have Crockett at 231. So anywhere along the leading edge, expect some strong winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Hail threat, I think, is pretty low. It's wind threat. It's also the potential threat for what we call a little vortex to spin up. These would be little vortices that could spin up along the leading edge of that storm. Probably very difficult to see thanks to the rain. So the rain is intense that we're getting so much in the way of flash flooding. By the way, that dark red area that you see underneath all that, that's a tornado watch that has been extended until 9 o'clock tonight. So it was a little bit farther to the southwest. It has been now pushed up closer to all to include more or all of East Texas. All right, I'm getting comments on Facebook. Let's see what we're saying here. It looks like 800 residents. So this is according to Judy, who lives in Hideaway. She says 800 residents without power in Hideaway. So power outages were a concern today. Yes, definitely the possibility there. Let me go back over to our CBS 19 stream and see, or on Facebook, and see if we've got any severe thunderstorm warning. We, of course, are live on our Facebook page, and also on our streaming platform, CBS 19 Plus, and also we're also live on our YouTube channel. So I'm just kind of going through, scrolling through, trying to find any information that I can. So you can see this is a look outside. Things look a little bit better. The low clouds have lifted from Smith and Cherokee counties. We can go over to maybe Kilgore. Doesn't look too bad right now. I got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is probably going to be, yeah, there's a whole mess going on here. Gregg, Harrison, wow. Rusk and Smith County. I don't mean to laugh at the situation. What I laugh at is that, let's go back to radar, is that just the number of severe thunderstorm warnings that we have. And it's so difficult to see what's exactly going on. There's so much rain in there. We'll turn on velocity here in just a second and see if we can get that to maybe show something. Otherwise, you're just looking at the severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. All right, let me turn back on. I'm going to go back and reconnect here with our hand tracker. Okay, so let me take a look at this. We're looking right in here. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. So first I want to do is take a look at the velocity. All right, so this is going to be the winds. That is just straight. This is with the storm movement and with the winds that are pushing the storm. So we're going to get a little higher number there when we look at that. So what are the winds pushing at right now just near Henderson? So 35 miles an hour. So that's not tremendously strong. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. I'm going to go back and then look at the winds going toward and away from the radar. But right now that doesn't look too bad at this time. We come back in here looking at the winds going toward and away from the radar, and that right there would be the most concerning circulation. But again, National Weather Service is going to allow this to expire, and you'll see this severe thunderstorm warned area out here toward Longview and Henderson. So there are some strong winds within that area. Let me see if I can put a path or track on that for us into these pink areas, but I'm going to pick back here right around Longview and then go out to the east. And that did not work for me. We'll try it again. If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? And then come out east about 45 miles an hour. There's about 45. All right, so we're talking about Longview in about 2 minutes. So the heaviest wind, rain moving into Longview in about 2 minutes, Hallsville in about 14 minutes, Nesbitt, Marshall, and Wascom are all in the path of this heavier thunderstorm. And I mean, you can just see how and that severe thunderstorm warning does include Longview, does include Harrison, Ruskin, Smith County, so it's southeastern parts of Smith County. That little circulation there west of Henderson has been showing up. It's rather broad, it's rather weak. We'll take another look at that in here. It's just right here, back to the northwest of Henderson. So, and again, we're talking about several miles across. It's likely what we saw if you were watching earlier on our camera, our Chase Bank Building camera. We watched a lowering kind of slide across South Tyler, slide across southern Smith County out of the camera's view. And so you can see just how wide that is. So anywhere in here, but again, that's pretty broad. It looks like there's maybe a little tightening trying to occur there, but unclear at this point. Again, no tornadoes reported today, just tornado warnings. So an environment like this is kind of, if this was a day where we had an 80-degree temperature and the dew point was 66 like we have, I think all bets would be off the table. Temperature 66 degrees. There's a lot of folks that would say, and if you're an amateur storm chaser or anything like that, they would say there's no way that you can have a tornado when it's 66 degrees. But in fact, you can. It doesn't, at any temperature, it can happen. All right, so we are on our CBS 19 on-scene unit, traveling Troop Highway south out of Tyler. It looks like we're approaching Toll 49. So then we're going to be getting onto the northern outskirts of White House. Again, that circulation has passed White House now. It's in southeastern parts of Smith County. And you can see the spray coming off that truck on the one side. A lot of heavy rainfall. The heavy rainfall is going to be a concern in terms of hydroplaning, ponding on the roadways. But as you can see from the CBS 19 on-scene unit, we are not seeing, I don't see any tree damage. I don't see anything down at this time. We're just passing the bike shop there, 110. And, maybe we get closer to White House. Maybe they see a little bit more, but again, this was a circulation that was above the ground, never touched the surface, but there were some pretty strong winds within that whole thunderstorm as it marched eastward. All right, let's widen it out. I mean, we need some perspective here, right? And then, again, if we get another shot of that CBS 19 on-scene unit, that would be fantastic, just given what we can see from that, because it's so telling. As I say, ground truth, there's nothing better than ground truth, and this is why we kind of urge and ask for pictures when they can safely be provided to us. When we can get those pictures safely, then we can relay one to the National Weather Service, and two, that gives us confirmation for what radar is seeing. So radar is one tool being used by forecasters. There's also several other tools, but there's nothing. That's why there's Skywarn there across all of East Texas. Skywarn, they go out, they track, they spot storms, and they relay back the information. Same is true when it comes to ham radio operators, what they're experiencing. That information is all going back to the National Weather Service. All of this is part of the integrated warning team that the National Weather Service has instituted with emergency managers and the media, and it's all to play out to keep everybody safe. And so because of that, you'll see just different reports and a lot of folks saying different things. We have that tornado warning until 2:15. Now down into eastern parts of Smith County. I'm going to zoom in again. This is going to be dropped. It's going to be replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning. At least the latest I got from the National Weather Service was that they were going to allow this to expire and that they would go with a severe thunderstorm warning. And so it looks like that, yes, they're going to be canceling the tornado warning soon. So we're going to stay with CBS programming until the tornado warning is issued. And then we'll go back to streaming over on our CBS 19 Plus channel. So I invite you to all come back over there. And then we'll also stay on our YouTube channel and we'll stay on our Facebook page. That picture that you're seeing there is a live shot. This is a live picture from the CBS 19 on-scene vehicle that is headed into southern Smith County, heading toward White House right now. So essentially that is going to be, I'll zoom in and show you where they are traveling. They're just starting now to get back into the heavier rainfall. They're just about down to White House right now. So they're right about in here. They're just getting into that heavier rain. You can see how the clouds are starting to darken up just a little bit. The circulation that we last had noted was weakening and it was moving kind of outside of the tornado warned area. So I'll just go back and check that out for us one more time. And you'll be able to notice that very broad circulation. In fact, it's gone outside of the tornado warned area. So we have about 3 more minutes on that tornado warning. Said they were going to cancel it early, but they're probably just going to let it expire at this point since it's only in effect for 3 more minutes. What we do have to be concerned about, though, is even though we have no more tornado warnings in effect right now, the frontal boundary itself, and this is where I thought we'd have a better chance to see tornadoes, is really parked more or less down here. So the warm front hasn't made it that far to the north, but what we've seen is a little surge of moisture, and we've had some very strong jet stream winds flowing in behind these storms now. So there's low-level inflow coming into these storms. As that's occurring, it's causing the line of showers and thunderstorms to bow out. Think about it this way. So this is pushing the storms faster this way. At the same time, at the surface, you still have southeasterly winds coming into the storm here. And so as that occurs, you'll get some natural spinning along the thunderstorm. So you can see just some natural spinning here. And as that occurs, we can have quick tornado spin-ups. So that's why we still have to be a little bit concerned about everything that we're seeing here this afternoon. All right, so let me erase that. Go back here. I'll try to throw this into motion. I'll probably have to turn off some of these warnings. Just notice that we have several severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll probably want to go back here in just a second and maybe reset the whole table here. We have the severe thunderstorm warning till 3 o'clock for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County. We're going to lose this tornado warning here at 2:15 for Cherokee and Smith. I'll come down here and see if we can get, there we do, we just lost the tornado warning. Okay, so then we have Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Rusk County till 3 o'clock, and Cherokee and Smith County till 2:45. So we have about 45 more minutes on those severe thunderstorm warnings. Then we come back up, looks like it's still there till 2:15. I got outside of the area. All right, then we have severe thunderstorm warning. Well, it looks like Upshur and Wood County no longer in severe thunderstorm warnings. Gregg County, Harrison, a little sliver of Smith, and Rusk County till 3 o'clock. So about 45 more minutes on the severe thunderstorm warning. Northeastern parts of Smith County out here toward Longview. So Longview is within that severe thunderstorm warning right now. Let me go all the way in on Longview, something we can do here, and just take a look at, looks like the heaviest rainfall is just outside. It's moved into White Oak. It's also moved over toward Longview and Kilgore, Lakeport. In fact, if we take a look at the Kilgore camera, you might be able to see how the skies are starting to darken up just a little bit as these showers and thunderstorms move into Kilgore. Yeah, you can start to see that curtain of heavier rain now coming in from the west. So that'll probably just spread across Kilgore here in the next few minutes, and the rain intensity will pick up for sure, and perhaps even the wind intensity. All right, this is the CBS 19 on-scene camera vehicle, and they are in White House right now, just kind of passing, I think, the Brookshires there on the left, and then they'll come down here to the right, eventually getting down to the school district building. And then I don't know if we're going to continue traveling south out of White House on down maybe toward Troop. Again, I've not heard of any kind of damage. I don't see anything there. And there was circulation right overhead. That's just trees, nothing down there. The circulation went right over White House about, maybe a half hour ago. And that circulation has since it's maintained the same strength. It's down here. In fact, it's right there with our Titan indicator currently. And with that Titan indicator, that's going to be right near Overton. There is potentially some rotations. Let me see if I can get in on that. Severe thunderstorm warning till 3 on that. Might be a little tough for me to kind of ping in on just on the Titan indicator. Okay, so we do have a little bit of hail possibly inside that cell. It is moving northeast at 32 miles an hour. That's going to, again, be this cell here that's coming out of Overton, just past New Chapel Hill. So it's essentially this area right in here that we're keeping an eye on. Tornado impact rather low. There is some wind with it at about a 5.5, so moderately strong winds within that cell. Hail impact, again, a little bit of hail, maybe some pennies or peas, and the flooding impact right now is a little bit lower than the wind impact at this time. So a very gusty thunderstorm inside Overton, currently headed eastward toward 259, going to cross into Henderson. You'll see some very heavy rainfall move out of Cherokee County, move into Henderson within the next half hour, and is currently moving into Kilgore. So this little line here shows potential to have some very strong winds inside, just straight line wind gusts inside this cell. And then that curves back down toward Jacksonville. And in Jacksonville right now has some very strong winds. Then we get down into this area here, and we have severe thunderstorm warnings that are ongoing for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County. And we have the Houston, Madison, Walker County. This is the Houston County storm with the tornado possible tag on it. And that tornado possible tag is because we had a tornado warning on that cell earlier. All right, so it looks like our tornado warning has expired in Smith County. So what I want to do is switch back. We'll send it back over to regular programming on CBS 19. We'll take a short break, and we'll continue streaming on CBS 19 Plus and on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Thanks for watching our coverage here on CBS 19. We'll break back into programming if another tornado warning is issued. All right, tell me when you want to go back. All right, welcome back to our CBS 19 Plus stream, also on our YouTube channel, and of course on Facebook. We continue with our severe thunderstorm warnings for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County due to this cell here near Jacksonville as it continues moving eastward at about 35 miles an hour. Leading edge could have some very strong winds in there that could exceed 60 miles an hour. Also have a cell that has broken out and formed out ahead in Nacogdoches County that we'll need to watch carefully. And then we have this portion of the cell in Gregg, Harrison, Rusk, and Smith County, so eastern parts of Smith County, and that goes until 3 o'clock. So we have this leading edge that could be producing some pretty strong winds. We're going to take a look at the CBS 19 mobile unit. We have a power outage in White House at the strip mall there. In that strip mall, you'll see there's a vehicle. I'm not sure if that's the emergency manager, but the power outage is, this is closer to, I know, 110, and that's that strip mall that's the Brookshires. Oh, where we saw that emergency vehicle. So they have a power outage there. All right, no word yet on how many folks in southern Smith County are without power. Our cell that I was tracking over toward Beckville, or out east of, in parts of Gregg, Harrison, and Rusk County. We're just taking a look here at the at the CBS 19 on-scene unit. All right, so we're back. All right, so this is the next line of the cell that's moving into Kilgore right now. So Beckville, Marshall, Elysian Fields, Wascom, Greenwood, Blanchard, and Stonewall on this thunderstorm as it marches eastward. So this is going to be moving quickly out of Gregg County, through Marshall, through Harrison County, and eventually over into the Louisiana side of things. So that once that cell moves, then that part of the threat is over. And then we would move our threat level back here into this part of the storm, where this is kind of in the embedded line of showers and thunderstorms. Look at all that lightning. Flash flooding continues. That's a big story here. Have not heard of any reports of any considerable flash flooding or any problems like that. Just saw some cloud-to-ground lightning in South Tyler again on some of these very intense thunderstorms. But here we go with, I'm going to put this is a very long track on this storm, and we're going to assume that it's moving roughly at 45 miles an hour. So we're going to have a lot of cities included in this track here, but some of the cities we've mentioned for the first time this afternoon. So those would include Laneville at 227, Beckville at 235, Carthage at about 255, Pollock, Nacogdoches, so that's where this whole line of showers and thunderstorms here with potentially winds that could exceed 60 miles an hour, and that's why we have severe thunderstorm warnings on those cells. All right, so just kind of remember here, Laneville, Beckville, Carthage, Pollock, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, Diboll. And Lufkin was one of these areas that had a better chance to see a tornado today, so we'll have to keep an eye on that part of the cell as it moves into eastern parts of Deep East Texas, because that's where we could end up seeing something a little bit stronger. All right, I'm going to look at just straight winds inside this storm. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that I'm also going to check out here in just a second. Again, we're not seeing a ton in terms of straight line winds out of Jacksonville. It doesn't look super impressive. I've seen far worse, in the 66 miles an hour. All right, so that's worthy of the severe thunderstorm warning. Jacksonville getting 66 mile an hour winds right now. So you may have some limbs broken, things knocked down, some furniture tossed around. So let me know if you live in the Jacksonville area. Look at that. That velocity would indicate 76 miles an hour. So a very strong thunderstorm coming out of Palestine. All right, I'm going to zoom in on, sorry, got to do this. I have to choose a different. All right, so new severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, Trinity, Walker County till 2:45. So we've extended the severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, Trinity, Walker County. Crockett right now is in the severe thunderstorm warning. Notice these little inflow notches. I don't know if I can show these to you. I'll point them out using the arrow. Little inflow notches here. So these are the concerning inflow notches that could start the leading edge of those thunderstorms turning a little bit. So let's keep an eye on the leading edge of the storm. Here's another one. If we look at it right, there's just a little bit of an indentation. So there's inflow coming into the storm there. And then as a result, you've got a little bit of an outflow here. So your circulation could start right in there. Not seeing anything yet, but severe thunderstorm warning on that storm right now for good cause as it moves across Cherokee County. So I'll zoom in on Cherokee County here. That's going right through Rusk currently. So Rusk, Jacksonville has seen the worst of it today. You're coming out of it now. Everybody out ahead of it is about to get into the worst of it. Tyler's probably seen the worst of it today, just heavy rainfall from here. Henderson is right now kind of in the thick of it. Longview, you still have a couple more hours to get really heavy thunderstorms. Downpours also will widen, come on down here to the down toward Crockett. Crockett is in it right now. Within about a half hour, you'll be done for at least the worst part of it. Doesn't mean it's not going to rain again today, but the worst part of it in terms of the wind and the wind threat, the flash flood threat, the tornado threat will pass once these storms move out of your area. Flash flood warnings continue here. These areas in purple: Smith County, Cherokee County till 4, Henderson County till 4:30, Van Zant County also in the area with a flash flood warning. Moving up here to the north toward Mount Pleasant, Gilmer, Jefferson, and Linden. We're just seeing some rainfall right now. Nothing too concerning up there, but again, it's the areas over Deep East Texas that have more concern than anything. All right, they did cancel the. They did Cancel the tornado warning in Smith County. Storm spotters, not seeing anything yet. Pea-sized hail, that was 59 in Interstate 20 over in Marshall being reported. I think we saw some of that with that severe thunderstorm warning. That cell looks like it's moved out of there. So this is going to be a live look over Gilmer coming up here. So this is from Gilmer, and this is the Amber-E camera that they have up there. That stream is so helpful. It's just rain moving through Gilmer right now. Look at the trees in the background. You don't see a lot of movement here, so not a ton of rain or not a wind. Certainly a lot of rain, and you can see traffic moving along. Pretty dark clouds are just hugging the ground. I mean, we're just talking about some ground scrubbing clouds here, but again, no reports or confirmed reports of any tornadoes. Widening things back out. Let me go back to Gilmer there. You can see what we were looking at. So the Gilmer storm right there, that was just rain, and that's going to continue. And so that's what's happening in Gilmer, that's what's going to happen to the east over toward Jefferson. Big Sandy's coming out of some heavy rainfall, Mineola, moderate to some heavy rainfall up toward Quitman, and then southward toward Tyler. Tyler right now, if we take another look from our Broadway camera, this is going to be from our Chase Bank building camera looking south. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it looks like we've got, some cloud features here that would indicate some wind, some cooler air sort of interacting. I would need to pan over here just a little bit. It's probably the back edge of that, the larger cell that went through, and that's what would be the back edge that would be currently over Troop right now with that heavy rainfall. All right, back to radar we come, and again, at this point, it's just a matter of riding out these storms. There's no tornado warnings currently. There's just a lot of heavy rainfall throughout the area, and I can tell you in Longview and in Henderson, and then eventually over toward Nacogdoches, down toward Rusk is experiencing right now, Alto, let's say Mount Enterprise, Laneville, Cushing, any of these areas would expect to experience some rather gusty winds. Let me go back and look at the winds inside the storm again. I was sampling some wind speeds that were in excess of 50 or 60 miles an hour within the severe thunderstorm warned area. Again, it suggested 75 miles an hour, right? But that's going to be at the level that we're shooting in the clouds. And so because of frictional forces of the earth, as that wind is downward transferred with momentum and with the weight of colder air, we will lose some speed off of that. But if we do have some wind damage in and around the Rusk area, let me know about it. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if we weren't going to see some sort of like trees or things knocked down, even there toward Jacksonville, some velocities that are showing up around 60 miles an hour, 58 miles an hour, right around. So Rusk to Jacksonville, that's where the heaviest winds are right now. Let me throw that back into motion just so I can see if that looks like, yeah. So you can see that little, oh, that's a really good signature there. Okay, so we may have some wind damage in the Jacksonville area. Look at that. That went right through Jacksonville. Right through Jacksonville along 79 from Palestine. That is just it looks like this Boeing segment of the storm coming right out in here. Again, this is going to be radar estimated, but if you live in Jacksonville and can share any information with us, share any photos on CBS 19 Plus, please, or on our Facebook page, or on our website, or through the Facebook Messenger app, please do that. Just because we could be looking at, so I'm getting a video here from Keith Fonville down in Bullard, and it's just outside his backyard. And I'll look at that in just a second. It looks like he has the storm was passing. Appreciate that, Keith. Let's go over to a different profile here. Let me see if we're seeing anything. Do have some storm spotters that live down in the, let's see. All right, so Darlene Coulter. Oh, this is going to be really good. She has sent a lot of videos from the Jacksonville area, and looks like a little bit of a lower cloud. This is Kilgore, by the way, live shot from Kilgore. And I see a little bit of wind there. Might have to examine that a little bit closer. Okay. Let's go back. Got some pea-sized hail. That was on 64 outside the loop. Thank you, Katie, for sending that in. Appreciate that. Again, that is so important when we have at least somebody that can can verify what we're seeing on the radar. We tell you about things on radar, but then what we need is some ground truth verification. When we get that, then we've got an ability to know exactly what's happening inside that storm. So that's why I'm pointing out this part of the storm here, Jacksonville. I'll go through this again. This looks like this could have been some pretty strong winds in that cell right here at Jacksonville. You see how that bowed out on us? So right there. So, and there might have been southeast of Palestine. Again, this was a tornado warned storm at one point, or had a tornado tag on it. It is now pushed out to eastern parts of Cherokee County. The winds still look pretty strong in that, coming toward Laneville. So let me do this. The Weather Service I know has a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm, but let's say Laneville, and let me point this out. I'm going to put this into. I'm going to go over here a second so I can get a better way to track that for sure. But what we're looking at is, I got to find here. It's this part of the storm over here, eastward, 37 miles an hour. So in Reclaw, this strong winds could be arriving in Reclaw in about 4 minutes, Laneville in about 15 minutes, Mount Enterprise in about 15 minutes, Dotson in about 42 minutes, and Timpson in about an hour. So there could be some 60-plus mile-an-hour winds coming out of eastern Cherokee County toward Laneville, Reclaw, eventually across southern parts of Rusk County, northern Nacogdoches County, I think by Appleby. Mount Enterprise would be included in that. This is going to be 84 east over toward Timpson. So anywhere between 259 coming south out of Panola County southward, or I should say Rusk County southward toward Nacogdoches. Very strong winds are possible in that portion. All right, just got a new flash flood warning in. So let's go with the flash flood warning and see where we can talk about this. This is going to be a flash flood warning, Panola County, Rusk County also included in that. And it looks like it's going to include Gregg County. So we have flash flood warnings. Let me take you through this. Till 4:30 out in Henderson County. Flash flood warning till 4 p.m. Smith County. And a flash flood warning now issued into Gregg County, western half of Harrison County, western half of Panola County, eastern half of Rusk County, and that is also going to go until 3 o'clock. Then we come down here to the south. We have a tornado warning now till 3 o'clock for Leon County, so that just got issued. This could be another area, and that's a small circulation, but that could go back into Houston County where we'd have to jump back on the air again to keep everybody down in Houston County warned of this storm. But it's one of these little inflow notches here, though it looks like this is more of an embedded circulation that they're looking at back here, right in there toward Leona. All right, so that's headed right toward Houston County. So that goes until 3 o'clock. That's just crossing, that circulation is just crossing over Interstate 45. All right, if we get another look at the CBS 19 on-scene car, let me know. We'll take another look at what's going out there. Okay, so they are now probably, leaving White House, headed south toward ARP, or headed south, going west on Grande. Okay, so headed west on Grande now. Okay, so we have reports of storm damage in Frankston. So that would jibe with what we're seeing across parts of Cherokee County. We might want to check on Cherokee County around Jacksonville over toward Laneville, where we had that really strong wind signature that moved through there a little bit earlier. But CBS 19 on-scene cars going over to check out some wind damage reports by Frankston off of these thunderstorms. Some gusty winds over there. I'm checking out Weather Service right now. Storm moving out of eastern Smith County, definitely north of the warm front, has been looking a bit weaker. Okay, so yeah, we've known that. So we're not really, that's the same storm system. So likely not going to see another tornado warning issued on that cell that moved out of Smith County through parts of Rusk and Gregg County. The attention is going to be down to the south. So they're going to issue another flash flood warning to the east of the current one that includes Tyler. We just talked about that. Yeah, okay. Appreciate you bearing with me as I kind of search through some of the information from some of the National Weather Service rooms, and then they're getting reports from storm spotters. But let's see, I'm not seeing any of the reports of the wind damage that we are going to check out. So Okay. All right. This is going to be new video from, oh my. So this is going to be lightning hitting the crane next to the courthouse. So we're going to, wow. Oh my good. Did you see that? Look at that. Yeah, tall metal object like that. Definitely just a lightning attractor for sure. So yeah, great shot there. Big bolts of lightning today, powerful bolts of lightning. In fact, let me go back over and just, I'll widen this all back out. We could take a look at the number of lightning strikes that we've seen with this storm, and we continue to see so many lightning strikes currently. The lightning counter on this storm right now is sitting at 4,700 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. What a powerful storm system in terms of lightning and efficiently making a lot of rainfall, and a lightning producer that can knock out power. We talked about the possibility of power outages today, so that has come to fruition. We've also talked about some gusty winds, called it gusty thunderstorms. A little bit of a report over toward the Frankston area, some wind damage. We're checking that out right now. That's the only one that I have at this time. But these cells, we'll zoom back in here a little bit and put another track. The timing, I think everybody wants to know what time, right? So let's zoom back in here, and I'll try to give you an idea. Again, we're talking about a large cluster of showers and thunderstorms. Just keep in mind that there are several thunderstorm warnings. Thunderstorm warning right now in Gregg County, Harrison, Panola, Rusk County till 3 o'clock, Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County till 3 o'clock. All right, so we have lots of areas under a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to turn those off so we can put on a lengthy track on this. This is going to go through southern Cherokee County in the eastern parts of Houston County. And then as we track this out to the east, and I'll come over to the wall here and go through everywhere we could possibly see these severe thunderstorm warnings. So heavy rain, this is heavy rainfall in Rusk County right now headed toward Beckville. So Beckville in about 5 minutes, all right? So give it 5 minutes. Rain's going to pick up in intensity. It's going to be very heavy. Then it's probably going to last for a solid half hour. I mean, that is a thick line of showers and thunderstorms. Could last even 45 minutes. All right, here's Dotson at 256, a little bit farther east of this area. So what would you expect in Dotson? Well, I'd look out for some very strong winds coming into the Dotson area if this part of the cell can be maintained, the one that came out of Cherokee County that's moving into central parts of Rusk County. So you get very strong winds, maybe in excess of 50, 60 miles an hour. Then we come down the line just a little bit farther, Pollock at 308. So we're looking at this part of the cell here into Pollock. That's the southern edge of that. Notice these little indentations. Again, the whole cell is rotating, so there is a chance there could be a quick spin up on the leading edge of that. So we'll want to be ready. Nacogdoches at about 321. Did you see how that just kind of clicked from southwest to northeast? Greenwood at 327 and Tenaha at about 340. So farther to the east, you can finally get over towards Cedar Grove about 4 o'clock. So this part of the cell by about 4 o'clock is moving into Panola County down toward San Augustine County, and we'll be moving on out of here. Interesting to note that we could see this whole thing kind of be done by maybe 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, and then have a quiet evening. Maybe there's an indication we get a secondary, it'll be a weaker line of showers that comes through this evening. But this is the main show. I mean, this is what we're getting hit with right now, is these heavy thunderstorms. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk County until 3:30. And again, the reason for that on that cell is probably going to be the same as we have been talking about in terms of the potential wind gusts in association with this storm. And I will click on this and see what we're getting here. We are looking at, let's do it again. We're looking at a severe thunderstorm warning till 3:30. The National Weather Service is, 70-mile-an-hour winds and nickel-sized hail. So that's sources radar indicated. So this is what I was talking about here with these 70-mile-an-hour winds that are possible right out of this part of the cell that's now extended into Nacogdoches County till 3:30. So we have very powerful winds coming into those areas. Again, with that severe thunderstorm warning going till 3:30 in Cherokee and Nacogdoches County. All right. Let me see if there's any other Spin up tornado straight line winds in Frankston at the Tractor Supply. Small trees blown over, debris blown around. All right, I don't know if anybody can hear that. Hey, Jesus. I got a report on Facebook of something's. There's headed to Frankston anyway at the Tractor Supply. That's where I got a report. There's damage there. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then we've got a live picture here from our CBS 19 on scene on 155. That's headed toward Frankston to check out that report. All right, so awesome. As we continue tracking these storms, we appreciate everybody tuning in with us on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, and of course through our CBS 19 Plus stream. When we take a break, we'll put the radar back up, but we thought it would be important to come in and give some context to these storms and try to put some timelines on these showers and thunderstorms as they move through. It should really say heavy rain and thunderstorms as they move through the area. But that is the CBS 19 on-scene vehicle right there. That, I believe, is just crossing 155 going under, toll 49, and headed south toward Frankston. And then, again, this leading edge of this cell here, that's my concern, is that anywhere along the leading edge, especially in the areas that we've seen there are 70 mile an hour wind gusts possible moving into Mount Enterprise and moving over toward Nacogdoches. So in the next hour or so, between now and 2:30, so next 50 minutes, we've got a chance to see some very strong winds move through southern parts of Rusk County and then through parts of Nacogdoches County. So very strong winds could be coming on into those areas. All right, let me go back and do another timeline on these cells. Down toward Crockett, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to overlay into Houston County. There was a tornado warning in Leon County till 3 o'clock. So what is likely going to happen here is the tornado warning that expires at 3 o'clock will be extended into Houston County, Madison and Trinity counties until 3:15 with a tornado tag possible on it. So there's a possibility that the cell could have some winds in there that are exceeding or possibly moving toward and away from the radar. I don't see a big circulation right now. There is one just kind of quietly there. But as we head toward Porter Springs and Lovelady, there are some other areas very difficult to see is in the relationship to where the cell lies in relationship to what we're looking at when it comes to the radar and distance from the radar sites in Fort Worth, Houston, and at Shreveport. So sort of in between and also back toward Killeen. All right, I wanted to zoom in on this part of the cell that is near Cushing. Just moving into Cushing right now. It has moved through Alto. The part that moved through Jacksonville, it's this Laneville part that has the propensity to produce perhaps as a 70 mile an hour wind gust. We sampled some of that inside of the radar a little bit ago, moving east at 35 miles an hour, maybe a little more of a northeasterly slant, so we'll put that in there. And then I'll go back over to the wall and walk you through the arrival times on these cells. So Pine Hill at 2:50, so in about 7 minutes, this really strong wind could make it to Pine Hill. Dotson, I'm still looking at about 3 o'clock. Timpson, all the way over here about 3:35. But anywhere west of Timpson, west of Dotson, over into southern parts of Rusk County, northern parts of Cherokee County. So Mount Enterprise would be there. Laneville is currently in that right now. Appleby, Nacogdoches is kind of on one part of that storm as it moves into those areas. So what we've seen from the at least radar indicated are wind gusts that exceed, I saw 70, we sampled 75, but again, that's going to be higher up in the thunderstorm. So there is downward momentum. With that downward momentum, frictional forces of the earth steal some of that speed, and so you end up with wind speeds that at least are exceeding 58 miles an hour, but could be as high as 65 to 70 miles an hour. In fact, the National Weather Service is mentioning a potential hazard of 70 miles an hour. If that's the case, then we're going to see some wind damage out of these storms. I'm going to go back to velocity here. This is just going to be sampling the winds as they're moving within the thunderstorm, and you can see Henderson, Jacksonville, we just saw some pretty strong winds move across Jacksonville and move out toward Mount Enterprise. I'm going to sample some of these. First I'll pick some off-air sites. So 72, and another area is 44. So south of Henderson, between Henderson and Mount Enterprise, seems to be the area that has the best chance to see some very strong winds, if not damaging wind gusts. So a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued. This is going to be an extension out farther to the east now. This is going to be Nacogdoches County. Okay, it looks like we've got Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk County. So the northern end of now, that cell has gone until 3:30 effect. It might just be a reissue on the one I just talked about. So I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. I want to see what these cells look like. I'm going to switch our camera over here to the Nacogdoches camera and see if we can see those cells coming in here. We'll look at that here in just a second. Meantime, maybe we take a look outside or at the CBS 19 on-scene camera, and we can, all right, they are on 155 again. They're headed toward Frankston, where we have reports of some damage. Got a report on Facebook. Tractor Supply possibly getting hit with something, some winds, spin up, could have been straight line. Not 100% sure. The area out there was under a tornado warning at one point, or a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. So any one of those would be possible that we could see, wind damage being created from something of that nature. All right, so trying to multitask here and move the SFA camera around from Stephen F. Austin and see if we can locate some lower rings coming in from the west or some cloud cover that looks a little more ominous as it moves in toward campus at Stephen F. Austin State University. And I'm not seeing anything that's real definitive at this time. So we'll just keep looking. Let me just keep looking as we keep taking a look here from our CBS 19 on-scene vehicle. And as that vehicle continues, it looks like there's some breaks in the overcast. Of course, they're behind the worst part of the storm now. The worst part of the storm is starting to move into parts of deep East Texas. So didn't really see anything too ominous from that standpoint. I'm going to go back to, okay, so we're going to get some photos here from a tree into a mobile home. This is in the Flint Gresham area. So this was part of the straight line winds that moved through there. So this comes to us from Roger Frieda. Roger, thank you very much for safely grabbing those pictures and sharing that with us. You can see that tree is uprooted, just one tree. It looks like it also brought down part of the fence. And again, this is in the Flint Gresham area. So that tree being knocked down. Here's some video of a lightning strike. This is a crane next to behind the courthouse where the new construction is going on. That crane is, there it is, look at that. You'll see similar pictures sometime to the Empire State Building being struck like this. There's a tall metal structure, could be a flagpole, tallest thing. This is typical of why, it's very dangerous to have any type of metal being up in the air that could cause some type of lightning attractor. All right, so we're crossing over Lake Palestine right now, and on 155, probably very close to Coffee City, or just arriving into Coffee City at this time. And it doesn't look like we see any kind of damage along 155, so that's good. But we are supposed to get to the Tractor Supply Company here in just a little bit. And when we do, we'll be able to show you a report of some wind damage in that area. Otherwise, new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. My feeling is that this is probably going to be for, excuse me, probably going to be for either out to the northeast, another county out to our northeast, up toward Harrison County. Looks like we've now included Harrison County into a severe thunderstorm warning. And looks like we've also maybe reissued on the Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Panola County. That's interesting. I think it's the extension from Gregg County, Harrison, and Panola County, yes, till 3:45. So that just got issued, and the severe thunderstorm warning goes until 3:45. Henderson out toward Mount Enterprise, down toward Crockett. In Jacksonville, currently with that thunderstorm moving out of Jacksonville. Let me show you where the things are quieting down sufficiently. Jacksonville, you are pretty much done for the day. Tyler, done for the day. Lindale, in terms of severe weather threat. It may rain again tonight, but the threat now really lies out here in this quadrant from Nacogdoches County to Angelina County, San Augustine, Sabine, and Panola County. All right, we're looking at the clouds over the lake. Oh, nice lowering over that one. As we look back, this has got to be looking to the east, right? Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is impressive. It's got to be looking east. Probably, wow. Yeah, it's the back end of this whole line of showers and thunderstorms coming through. So yeah, looking west, it looks a lot better. And then when you look out to the east, you can see just how dark and ominous those clouds were. In fact, if you were looking at this approaching, you could probably see a decent shelf cloud also moving in. All right, now we're looking due south. So, and then this is going to be the shot from the CBS 19 studio. You can see the clouds now are moving. So this is west, and this is north to south. So the clouds are moving north now, closer to the surface. So we've come in behind the thunderstorm complex, and the winds have shifted. So it's likely got as warm as it's been today, about 68 degrees earlier. It's down to 64. And the clouds will continue to scour and move at least from west to east. And we may see a little bit of a clearing sky here as the afternoon progresses. There should be one more round of showers and thunderstorms that develops out to the west in the evening as the main area of low pressure moves through. And when that happens, we should get one more area of rain. Meantime, we're just kind of waiting on Nacogdoches to see what kind of what we get for Nacogdoches. But currently, till 3:30, Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk counties are under a severe thunderstorm warning in those locations. And when we look up to the north, it's just clusters of showers and thunderstorms that have moved out of Longview over toward Marshall. Looks like there could be some gusty winds inside that part of the thunderstorm. I'll look at that, do a little inspection on side that storm here northeast of Henderson, 48 miles an hour near Henderson. Again, there's that one part of the cell that continues to produce possibly a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust, and that's going to be now east of Henderson over toward Carthage. At least this is radar indicated. That's moved through Laneville. This has been pretty consistent. But again, when you play this back, you can see it sort of looks like the Boeing segment of the whole thunderstorm line of thunderstorms, or the whole thunderstorm complex as it has developed. So Pine Hill right now getting some very strong winds. That's over toward Carthage soon. It's moved out of Laneville. I would estimate that Mount Enterprise would also get some very heavy rainfall also coming down within the next few minutes, and some gusty strong winds on top of that. So dots at Laneville right now is in the heavy rain. Not a lot of lightning, but the heavy rain, and it could just be the nature of the heavy rain is just bringing the cooler air to the surface, and that is creating some almost downburst type energy. Not calling it a downburst, but downburst type energy that is hitting the ground and fanning out and creating some very strong wind gusts at the surface. But anyway, that's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30. So there's still 3:30 Nacogdoches County, and then for Angelina County right now is on the northern edge of that. So till 3 o'clock for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk, till 3:30 for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk. So we'll stay on till 3. If we don't get another tornado warning, we'll take a break and kind of reset the radar and try to read back over with the National Weather Service and see where there's any types of storm damage. But we do have the tornado watch in effect. In fact, let me go to one data set here I want to show you. Let's see where the watches and warnings. So this is going to be our watch and warning layer. And we currently do have a tornado watch that was issued. There's several severe thunderstorm watches. The tornado watch in yellow, severe thunderstorm watch was in, I think, pink. There's so much going on here. Let me see if I can weed out some of these. So the pink area is severe thunderstorm watch. The yellow area is the tornado watch, right? The green areas are going to be flash flood or just flood watches or flash flood warnings. We have several flash flood warnings. So I'll turn on the flash flood warnings. Those are the areas in green. That includes Kaufman County, Henderson County, Smith County, Northern Cherokee County, also Rusk County, Western Panola, Southwestern Harrison, and Gregg County. Right, so that's the flash flood warnings. Then we have the severe thunderstorm watch. Those are the areas in pink And so we'll go over that. That's going to be Anderson, Henderson, Van Zant, Wood and Upshur County, and also Rains County. Then we add back in the tornado watch counties, and it's everywhere to the south and to the southeast. Smith County was added into the tornado watch. What will probably happen in the next hours, you'll see several counties dropped from the tornado watch as these thunderstorms start to really kind of center down here toward Nacogdoches County, Panola County, St. Augustine, Sabine, and Angelina County. So you're not going to make it until 9 o'clock tonight for this tornado watch in Smith County or Gray County. Not going to happen. May not even make it till 5 o'clock. Cherokee County probably makes it a little bit longer just because the southern part of the county has a few thunderstorms around. Rusk County, Panola County, maybe closer to 5 or 6 before that is allowed to expire. But that watch goes all the way over into Louisiana by 9 o'clock. And most of the thunderstorms, as we're seeing right now, are trying to move into those areas and out of the tornado watch area that we had earlier. We still have some severe thunderstorms, or I shouldn't say severe thunderstorms. We still have thunderstorms in parts of Smith County and a lot of lightning. So again, we are going to take a break here at 3 o'clock and catch up with the newsroom on some of the damage reports, start working on the forecast for CBS 19 News at 5 o'clock. It does look like, and I like to see this when it comes to severe threats in terms of keeping it severe thunderstorm warnings, this is all sort of clustering to one large thunderstorm complex. Even the line of, I would be a little more concerned down toward Houston County. And then if anything can get going by itself out here in deep East Texas, we would have to watch that for the possibility of rotation. All right, so we've got just a couple more minutes. Severe thunders. Here's another look from our CBS 19 on-scene camera. Just saw some trees down in Frankston. There you go. There's, yeah, a bunch of branches there, a couple trees uprooted, more branches. Looks like they're scattered. That would suggest that there is some, that would be straight line wind damage just from that aspect. We'll see if they're going to come up here on this emergency vehicle. We'll see what they've got. They've got an emergency vehicle back behind that house. Again, that's just one quick look as it was going by the road. If there is some damage back here, could have been a small tornado that then would have tossed those other tree branches and scattered them. So the CBS 19 on-scene unit is in Frankston right now. There's Highway Patrol. Okay, and we've got some emergency management trucks down there. It looks like there may be some other ones down at the end of that. Oh, lots of trees down from that vantage point there. We don't know what street those are, but looks like they've already got backhoes out clearing the streets off of that street. Boy, pretty good broken tree there. State trooper blocking that roadway, keeping folks out. But yeah, so we've had some severe thunderstorm wind gusts that have produced some damage. This is in the Frankston area. This was much earlier this afternoon, right in here out of Henderson County into Smith County. And then it rolled across. This is part of that same cell. I've tracked this the whole way here, saying this had about 70-mile-an-hour winds, and it's still potentially producing some 70-mile-an-hour winds as it moved through Henderson. Now we're getting reports of some trees down in Tyler, South Robertson and Sunnybrook. So we got some trees down South Robertson and Sunnybrook. All right, so look at the trees snapped by the very strong winds. That's Good Shepherd Anglican Church. You can see these trees that are broken, snapped, and so it was either straight line winds. That would, right now, looks like it's straight line winds. The church doesn't have any damage to it. So it looks like there could have been 70-mile-an-hour winds that rolled through parts of Smith County. And again, we're going to go back here to Frankston. We can see just the way the trees are scattered around like this. We either had some kind of, I'm not going to call it downburst winds because the thunderstorm didn't fall apart, but straight line winds that when we saw the Boeing segment that went into parts of Cherokee County, we may have some wind damage also in Cherokee County that we'll have to check on. But those winds were sampling 70 to 75 miles an hour, and that again is off the surface. But the National Weather Service issuing the severe thunderstorm warning had the hazard at 70 miles an hour. So if we wanted to break back into programming with any of these pictures, let me know. I would easily do that and just bring everybody up to date with a quick update on everything, just because we're getting great pictures here. We want to maybe push toward our 5 o'clock newscast so that folks can see this. Yeah, let me know. I'm going to come over here to the radar and then I'll walk back over. I'll get that set up here in just a second. And I'll just give everybody an update. We don't have to go very long, but this is So we appreciate everybody watching on CBS 19 Plus. They're going to tell me to pause a second, and on our YouTube channel and on Facebook, and I'll pause and then we'll join CBS 19 here in just a second. Hi everyone, I'm CBS 19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony. We wanted to bring you an update on the severe weather that's moved through East Texas this afternoon. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings continuing for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk counties until 3:30. No more tornado warnings currently, but we are watching these cells carefully as they continue moving to the east. They've had a history of producing some wind gusts in excess of 70 miles an hour, and as they've moved across East Texas, we now have seen some storm damage reports coming into our CBS 19 newsroom. For instance, our CBS 19 on-scene camera is down in Frankston, where there are numerous trees down and tree limbs down around Frankston at this time. And our CBS 19 on-scene mobile unit is a live picture for you moving through Frankston. We are gathering the details. We'll have this for you coming up today on CBS 19 News at 5, but you can see that larger branch being knocked down. Now, the house isn't damaged, so that would tell us that there are just straight line winds that roared through here, perhaps a couple hundred feet off the surface, or maybe getting closer to the surface, but certainly looks like straight line winds just shredding those trees, knocking those limbs off and spreading those out across the roadways. There are crews trying to clear some of the debris off the roads in and around the Frankston area. Also have some video coming into us. This is going to be in Tyler. Jesus, tell me again, this is south of Robertson and Sunnybrook. And that's the Good Shepherd Anglican Church. And you can see again, maybe a lightning bolt just spatter or splitting that tree in half. Looks like a power line down also, but it could also be just some strong winds. And in the Flint Gresham area, here's a tree that was knocked over, likely again by a very strong wind gust as it roared through parts of East Texas earlier today. So still a tornado watch that is in effect. That tornado watch is going to be in effect until, well, technically 9 o'clock. I don't think it's going to make it all the way to 9 o'clock here in East Texas, simply because we've seen a lot of these thunderstorms already move out of Smith County, move out of Anderson County. There is still a severe thunderstorm warning in Houston County with a tornado possible tag on it. And that is because we could have, if you look right here, there's a little inflow notch into that storm. So that could quickly start to spin something up. If that happens, then we'd come back on with an update. But these severe thunderstorms here are now moving into parts of Panola County, Shelby County, right close to Nacogdoches. Look at the lightning strikes. There have been more than 4,000 lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes within these storms. Very strong winds continue moving across northern Rusk County, near Henderson, and now moving out into western parts of Panola County, and then over toward Dotson and Timpson. And then there's going to be some other strong winds that will move through parts of Nacogdoches County and over into Shelby County. So just wanted to bring you up to date on the severe weather situation. We're going to take one more look here from another piece of video that we got, and this is going to be downtown Tyler. The new courthouse is being built behind the old courthouse, and there is a crane that is set up in the construction site. Keep an eye right there. So a powerful lightning strike hitting that crane, and that is why lightning is so dangerous, and why trying to keep as low as you can when there's lightning out there and not having any type of metal objects that are flowing, because you can see that lightning is just, or a metal rod is just an attractor of lightning. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings, and just got a new one in here, which I can check on in just a second, but it's likely going to be this portion here of this storm now for Caddo, DeSoto parishes in Louisiana, but Nacogdoches, Panola, and Shelby County extended till 3:45. And we have Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk County until 3:30, and then Houston County in that same time frame with a tornado possible tag on that. This cell here will likely move across Angelina County, San Augustine, and Sabine County. Before we go, let me check on this severe thunderstorm warning that is out here. But again, I think it's going to end up being that Panola, Nacogdoches, and Shelby County storm that we just mentioned here on the radar. All right, so yes, well, Mount Enterprise, still severe thunderstorm warning. And there's your new one that just came out. That is going to be over into Louisiana till 3:45. And then we'll come back here onto the Texas side of things. We've got Nacogdoches, Panola, Shelby County till 3:45. And then Cherokee, Nacogdoches, Panola, and Rusk County. Different portions of the county And then down here in Houston County, we have this severe thunderstorm warning in Houston, Madison, and Trinity County until 3:15. All right, so appreciate you sticking with us here as we just had a bit of a break into programming to bring you up to date on the severe weather threats. But I will tell you this, severe weather threat likely over for Tyler in Longview today, but now starts to take an uptick toward Lufkin, Nacogdoches Center, Hemp Hill, and San Augustine, and also over toward Carthage and parts of Panola County. We'll return you to regular programming. We'll have updates on today's storm coverage, and also you can watch our severe weather updates on CBS 19 Plus. We are local, live, local, and always on. You can watch free in the Roku channel, Fire TV, and the Apple TV app. But we will have updates on CBS 19 News at 5 coming up later this afternoon.